Hello again, this is Marc Suderman coming to you from California. I'm in an almond orchard and I wanted to share with you some things I'm seeing right at the end of bloom. We were actually just passing through jacket split stage, so now the nuts are sizing dramatically through cell division, and this is a stage that's rapidly coming to an end due to the warm climate temperatures we've had. A big part of the problem we've had this year down in California is a mild winter. That mild winter has meant that while we've had some cool ambient temperatures during the month of January, we've had a lot of rain. And it started in early to mid-December, depending on what location you're at. And it rained regularly all through February. And it was a large amount of water. And when you get that much water, what starts to happen is it changes your soil temperature. And what happened by doing that is it stimulated root flush earlier than normal. If your orchard came into this growing season with this kind of a circumstance, it's already energy deficient. That deficit is going to hinder the next stage of development. And unless you do something to counter that and really fill that tank back up for that plant, you're going to continue to go from stress circumstance to stress circumstance, and you're going to struggle through the year. The reason earlier than normal root flush is a problem is that it starts to put a tax on the plant, and it starts to stress it and draw down its reserves of energy. And the energy reserves are actually needed for the upcoming bloom stage. And so, for instance, in Modesto this past year, December the 30th, root flush occurred in nonpareil. Well, that's quite a bit earlier than normal. And as you move down the state, or down the San Joaquin Valley, it was earlier than that. And that can be verified by when bud break started to begin. Bud break's always preceded by root flush by 3 to 4 weeks. And so because of the warm soil temperatures, we had a stressed condition going into bloom. Usually the amount of nutrition that's put up isn't allowing for an earlier than normal root flush. And so we're counting on the dormancy to allow that plant to rest and awaken well rested and ready for the next season. That didn't happen this year in California over the winter. What we have that's normal is plants that awaken hungry and thirsty and ready to eat and drink, much like a grizzly bear after it awakens from hibernation. This year that occurred with a stressed plant level. And when you got stressed plants, bad things start to happen. And so what we're seeing out here in fields all over the valley are a lot of premature nutlet dropping. And we haven't reached the stage when we would normally expect that, what's called June drop. And it happens sometime between May and June. That we're at least 60 days ahead of that. So that can be a real concern. And as growers, you need to be able to see that and plan for that as you're going through the winter, in order to best do what you need to do in preparation. As you can see, there's quite a few nutlets there on the ground in a very small area of space. We pan away, you can see even more. This should be a genuine source of concern for growers. In many instances, when you start seeing that earlier than normal drop, what you're actually seeing is a plant that is self-regulating because it doesn't have enough energy to go around. And so it's indicative of verification that the plant did stress, either during the winter, during bloom, or both. And so the plant awakened, went into bloom with a nutritional or nutrient deficit. And so that nutrient is what the plant makes energy out of. When you're energy deficient, the plant does what it needs to do to survive, and that's all, not a lot extra, if any. With that being the case, and we're dealing with what could potentially be a larger than normal drop on our crop, rather than get up in arms and concerned about it, we need to focus on what we do have to work with. And that is the fact that we are going into photosynthesis stage, a canopy health is really going to be critical for next year's crop and next year's crop potential. Your nutrient plan should include all the things necessary to make your photosynthetic activity be the most efficient as possible. Phosphate, magnesium, and the appropriate traces to move not only sunlight into the plant more efficiently, but also to move the sugars that are produced in that process throughout the plant. Because ultimately the plant isn't pushing hard because of the crop load there, but that doesn't mean you should take this year off nutritionally. Use your analysis from both plant tissue and your fall soil testing, and really use the soil from that information combined with that to come up with a plan of attack. So you just need to adjust the plan accordingly and then monitor your results. You should see good things. Use plant-ready forms of your nutrition and you'll get even more efficiency out of it. With those things in mind, you can definitely look for that and find a silver line in this whole situation. Hey, thank you again for watching. I appreciate you taking the time. I hope the information has been helpful, and here's to your crop success.